Database facilitate the storage, maintenance, and utilization of data in a database that is shared by many users. As often said by every businesses, report is useless if it isn't timely. The information and data in the list must be easy to retrieve and accurate to be useful. Apart from its ability to organize large amount of data, there are also two advantages of having a database. First, data integrity. There, there is assurance that the data will be accurate and complete. Second, data security. Through several built-in data security features, access to the database is controlled. Now that we all have this data, what should we do next? It is of course important to communicate this to our end users. Various kinds of softwares make effective tools for creating convincing information. Presenting data. So there's printing, desktop publishing, and graphic programs. One of the pillars for business communication is the printed page. The quality of appearance of a printed document is essential in this. Thus, choosing a great printer should be considered in choosing a printer. Next is desktop publishing. Traditionally, most communication intended for use within an organization were prepared using typewriter or letter quality printer. But desktop publishing has moved far beyond the era of printed word. The growing capabilities of computers have changed that. Desktop publishing helps offices surpass simple word processing by using typography, design elements, and even graphic image to create communication that is persuasive and looking professional. Graphic programs. As more information becomes circulated, graphics takes on greater importance. People who do not have time to read paragraph per paragraph are among the primary beneficiaries of graphic presentation.
In our modern days, sharing data has been more convenient than before. With the rise of computers and the internet, sending electronic mails, instant messages, video conferencing, and intra-network file sharing are in the trend. We have already seen that a modem can link someone with a personal computer to a large database, allowing the computer user to access important and up-to-date information such as stock and bond prices, health management information, and budget allocations. For this presentation, we will only be focusing to two types of data sharing, the electronic mail and the teleconferencing. I think it is safe to assume that we are all familiar with the electronic mail. Electronic mail, or email as we all call it, is most commonly defined as a person to person communication in which the transmission and receipt of the message takes place through a computer. No matter what business you're in, email has you spoiled. This amazing technology, now decades old, lets you send messages around the world in seconds almost for free. From a laptop or smartphone, you can use email to do business from the beach or the boardroom and literally anywhere in between. Although a few uses remain for traditional mail, email can handle all the basics: ordering, billing, contracts, announcements, and more. Email is an important method of business communication that is fast, cheap, accessible, and easily replicated. Using email can greatly benefit businesses as it provides efficient and effective ways to transmit all kinds of electronic data. Checking email on a daily basis is essential. There are many email features available depending on the type of account you have. For example, for some accounts, you can track email to ensure the recipient reads it. You can also postpone sending outgoing email, filter incoming email, and set up automatic responses with different types of accounts. Platforms for hosting email include Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo. There are also others. For additional cost, these platforms will set up your own business email address. For example, you could host JSmith at yourbusiness.com on one of the email platforms by paying an extra fee. Teleconferencing offers an alternative to face-to-face meetings that can reduce the high costs of travel, hotels, food, and time lost in transit. The COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting stay-at-home orders have led to significant changes in the way people work. One of these changes involves increased use of video conferencing as a means of communicating or holding work meetings. Zoom, for instance, had 10 million daily meeting participants in December 2019, but by April 2020, or just 4 months after, that number had risen to over 300 million. Other video conferencing platforms, such as Google Meet and Microsoft Teams, have also experienced significant increases in daily participants. Furthermore, it is likely that the use of video conferencing will continue long after the pandemic ends, as Gartner predicts that only 25% of business meetings will take place in person or face to face by 2024. This information is based from the journal by Carl Taluchet and Agakani, released in 2021, titled Virtual Work Meetings During the COVID-19 Pandemic, The Good, Bad, and Ugly. Next is teleconferencing. The three main types of teleconferencing are audio teleconferencing, audiographic teleconferencing, and audio-video teleconferencing. A fourth, educational teleconferencing, is usually a combination of the first three main types. Audio teleconferencing is where the telephone conference call, in which the phone company arranges for several people in different geographic locations to be on the same line at the same time, is an example of audio teleconferencing. Simply put, this is teleconferencing wherein your team and the other team can only hear each other. I personally have experienced this kind of teleconferencing when our team, the Philippine tax team involved in the taxation services with Xiaomi Philippines Corporation, organized a conference call with the management of Xiaomi Philippines Corporation to discuss some matters. In this example, we have only used our telephone with the loudspeaker on and just conversed items with the management only through that call. Next is audiographic teleconferencing. The audiographic teleconference might take place in a room specifically designed for the purpose, with handheld microphones for each participant and with machines sending images of documents or still photos of conference participants. Simply put, this is the type of teleconferencing where you can hear each other, but you see what is being presented by the other team. Third is audio-video teleconferencing. The audio-video teleconference takes advantage of all media, audio, graphics, and video. Audio-video teleconferencing can also be called video conferencing. This is the use of communications technologies to enable a session in which users can see and hear one another simultaneously. Generally, the products and software that enable this are called video conference products, although some of these products may be solely for displaying images, producing audio, or transmitting information. When integrated together as a single system, all of these components form a video conference system. Video conferencing in practice includes using microphones, cameras, software, and hardware to both transmit and receive images between two or more locations. This can be between participants that use computers only as their video conference equipment, or between users that use entire conference rooms with multiple displays, cameras, and microphones to conduct the video conferencing session. Lastly, educational teleconferencing. Educational programs on televisions bring the class to the student rather than the student to the class. With closed circuit television and feedback audio equipment, actual campus classes can be sent to remote classes or classrooms or even to a business organization's educational facility. Students in remote classrooms can contact the actual classroom when they have questions or answers. The same system can be used with ill or disabled students in elementary and secondary schools.